All right, shalom, shalom. Like you say, all praises due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekha, Chadash. And double honors to the elder apostles, a great millstone. Peace and blessings to you, brothers, teaching in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. All right, coming back real quick, and these are more signs that the Lord, okay, all caps, is through with this place, man. Babylon the Great, aka Sodom and Gomorrah and Egypt, all rolled into one, which is commonly known as America, all right, which means the land of the bitter, all right. And I just want to bring this out real quick because, in lieu of other things going on, we can see what's coming on the horizon, all right. Wise men that search out the scriptures daily, or have the scriptures roll across their frontal lobe, all right. When in thought, when they see things, all right, they can pinpoint it and line it up with scriptures, right, to a T, okay. So I got this right here. So Lucky, let me find it. All right, so I seen this. It says Mexican cattle again crossing into U.S. So I know the strife that's happening between Mexico and United States. All right, and this sounded interesting, through the spirit, and I read it. Okay, it says El Paso, Texas border report. A beef industry association is hailing the reopening of America's border to Mexican cattle exports. Almost 900 head of cattle crossed the border into the U.S. from Agua Prieta, Mexico, at 3:50 p.m. on Monday at the Douglas, Arizona port of entry. Mexican officials announced it was the first such crossing since the United States closed the door to Mexican cattle in May due to fears over a screwworm infestation in Mexico. Texas to create response team to combat New World screwworm. Okay, the ban has kept more than 100,000 head of cattle from coming into the U.S. and resulted in 150 million in losses to ranchers in Mexico, according to Mexican sources. Okay, let's read what a screwworm is. Flesh-eating screwworms could boost record high beef prices, expert says. Cattle moving through this port will go through a robust Agua Prieta Douglas will go through a robust double inspection before entering the port. Cattle will be inspected for wounds or other health conditions. Woodall said in a statement. Cattle will also receive anti-parasitic medication and be quarantined for 3 days before moving through the port. All right. Once on U.S. soil, Mexican cattle again are inspected by veterinarians, he said. All right, and since it's 150, let me see, what does it say right here? $150 million effort. All right, how you profit? Okay, to Mexicans, the Mexicans. All right, how much inspections do you think is going to go on? They want the 150 million in cash, man. Okay, so they giving them problems, right? With get out of America. You think these the Mexicans aren't going to do what they're doing to them? Okay, treat them unfairly. All right, so prepare. You know, like me, after reading this, man, that's it for the beef for me. I'm not gonna be consuming much beef, okay, because of the screwworm. All right, that's very parasitic. Okay, you might not be able to get rid of that. Okay, but we know how to get rid of it. Black walnut, tincture, you know, and that can work out for you to a T, you know, and they'll help you when you want to get rid of parasites. Okay, but going into it, you know, this is just another way of saying that the Lord is not dealing with this place anymore. All right, it's done for America. So I got a couple of scriptures, and then I'm gonna close it down. But hey, we're here, man. All right. So I just moved right over to the scriptures. You know, it's Second Ezra 16. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? All right. And we're surely dead. Like I said, you got what's going on over there in Mexico. Okay. And that's against the powers over there. All right. And now those people that's in control over there in Mexico, they're letting tainted cattle into the United States, which, you know, they're their enemies now. And now we're about to see the results of this. Okay. Now it's going to be a beef shortage. All right. Because once one cattle comes across that line infected and it's not caught, all right, it's 100,000 heads of cattle. How is all those cattle going to be inspected? That's a tiresome job, man. And this dummy over here, he didn't cut out, you know, checks and balances, so to speak, on every piece of the government. All right. So he's setting it up for a downfall. All right. It's nobody, there's not enough workers. All right. Probably in the USDA to even go down there to inspect what's coming across the line. All right. The Mexican farmers, they just want the 150 mil, man. So it's going to be a lot of pestilence in these days that come across here. Verse 19, it says, behold, famine and plague, tribulations and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment, right? So as you can see, like I said, it's the Lord's hand, man. He's sending he's sending a whooping stick over here, man. Okay, from the Mexicans. All right, and it's that cattle. All right. Lo and behold. It says, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Right? And it's definitely a sign, all right, that the Lord is not dealing with this place any longer, man. Okay? Because of its wickedness. Right? And I got something right here. Let me get this in the regular scriptures. Isaiah 33 and 1, it says, woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. Right? And that's what we're getting ready to see with them 100,000 heads of cattle. All right? Screwworm. Let's look what that is. Okay? says a screwworm. Screwworms are the larvae of New World screwworm fly, known for their parasitic behavior of infesting living tissues of warm-blooded animals. They burrow into wounds and other openings, feeding on the host's flesh. This can cause severe damage, pain, and even death if left untreated. So just imagine ingesting, all right, meat that's been chewed on by this larvae, okay? You see this. Slocky. It says, while New World screwworms, a type of larvae, are known for infesting the flesh of animals, including humans, they are not typically harmful if ingested. Instead, they cause harm by burrowing into live tissue, usually through open wounds and feeding on the flesh. If ingested, the larvae are likely to be destroyed by the digestive system and then eliminated from the body. Okay, so it's not harmful to us, but in the aspects of just passing it on to other living edible animals, okay, this could be the start of a decrease of you know the cattle. So if one farmer buys one head of that cattle and puts it on his farm and it brings those larvae with it, it's over. It's over. Okay, it's not a good look. All right, and that's prophecy in itself, because what did the Lord say? Let me get this real quick. It's Hosea 4:2, right? And I'm reading this because this was the law for us, all right? But since Edom, all right, since they're trying to beat us, all right, and they're swearing to our power, which they don't have a power in the first place, he's going to make mockery of them, all right? And the way he's going to do that is by upholding them to what they're trying to push out onto the land, okay? Look at this. It's Hosea 4:2. All right. It says, by swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood touches blood. All right. So who's this synonymous with? This is synonymous with Edom, what they're doing now. We're in the land, and where we are, wherever we are, we're holy people. So we know not to do that. Okay. This is the thing that our power abhors. He hates this. Okay. And for this manner, this is why this plague is going to eat up their cattle and their livestock, man. Okay. Verse 3, it says, therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish. Right? Because if you can't eat, your stomach's going to touch your back. Okay? It's going to be flat. It says, with the beasts of the field, all right, every wild animal, NLT, fowl with the fowls of the heavens, yea, the fish of the sea also shall be taken away. All right, so that's why I'm bringing this out, because this is one step closer to famine, man. All right, let's get one more scripture, and that'll be it. I'm gonna close it out after that. But as you can see, the domino effect have started. They have started since 1969, but now it's more prevalent. Okay, and there's people here to report, okay, and tell the nation of Israel a sword is sharpened. Okay, let me get this real quick. Like I said, Salaki. All right, and that was the perfect scripture, Hosea, because it's gonna say it right here. Second Ezra 15. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, sword, famine, death, and destruction. But wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and the hurtful works are fulfilled. Okay. Let's jump down. It says, 12, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten. Second Ezra 15 and 12. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plagues and punishment that God shall bring upon it. All right, our power, Yahweh. Okay. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. Okay? And like I said, it's all laid up, man. All right? You had the famine and the pestilence coming. All right? And then you have the uproars of the people. And we're starting to see that. And when it breaks out here, it's gonna be unstoppable, man. Okay? It's not gonna be able to get turned away. Okay? It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard the kings nor princes, and the courses of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. All right, so since the DOJ cronies and groupies are against the brown people, which are Israelites, okay, the northern kingdom, or they just gonna send them a fresh batch of pestilence, man, through those bovine, those cattle, all right, that's coming over here. All right, and like I said, all it takes is a farmer to buy that up and put it on his farm, all right, a steer or a heifer, and it's over, man. You know, that's going to spread to the bovine population that we got here in America. Okay, and like I said, DOJ he cut down the checks and balances, man. So we about to see something real interesting happening. Okay. So with that, I want to say all praises due to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to you, brothers, teaching in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. Shalom.